We're at the South Carolina Water Resources Conference, and joining me this afternoon is Dr. Tim Callahan. He is with the College of Charleston, and Tim, I want to thank you, but I also want to ask you, you are with the Masters in Environmental Science program, but tell me your other titles there.
Sure, yeah, I'm an associate professor of geology, so my home department is in the geology department. That's in the School of Sciences and Math down at the college, and we have kind of sitting across the School of Science and Math, as well as the School of Humanities and Social Sciences, as well as the School of Business. We have an environmental studies graduate program, interdisciplinary program with faculty from across those schools.
And to me, that's one of the most important things that we should be thinking about when we are thinking about resources, natural resources, and in this case, water, is the importance of having all of those people at the table. So to have this degree program that brings you, or brings the student together with others that they will be working with the rest of their lives, is a fine statement to the College of Charleston.
I agree.
And then here at the Water Conference, I know you've been involved over the years. Tell me what you have seen that is different this year from previous years, and if it's coming to pass, the critical nature of bringing the different elements together.
Well, yeah, it's really evolved, I think, quite nicely since we started in 2008. Center for Watershed Excellence at Clemson has done such a great job at serving the leadership to bring to the table a lot of different parties and a lot of different stakeholders, both the academic stakeholders and then the different agencies, and also to invite all the different political interests as well as the business interests and consultants who are all trying to inform on things like the theme this year, which is state water planning. So I think that's been about the water planning aspect. I think that's been a very nice addition in our evolution of of the overall conference. We've seen a lot more participation from a lot kind of farther reach of stakeholders, so we're adding new stakeholder groups. I think the nonprofit element is really important. And I think, of course, as in previous years, having the legislators come and participate, both to tell us what they're thinking about, and then I think they're very interested to hear from us as not just their constituents, but also to provide to them some expertise across the board of what they should be talking with their colleagues in the State House about, and what they should then be feeding back to their other constituents of what they have gathered as important areas of interest. And again, that state water planning, I think, is a key aspect. And we're moving the ball forward on that, and that's been a really good addition. And then I should point out, too, a big value added for this year is our Journal of South Carolina Water Resources.
Of which you were the editor.
Yes, I'm happy to serve as sort of the herder of cats, so to speak. But we actually had a great editorial board and across from different entities, Jeff Allen, Cal Sawyer, Dr. Eidson served in some bit of an ex officio capacity, and Susan Liebus from Coastal Carolina. And we all really, with Dawn White's organizing powers, were able to do a lot of the editorial review and planning and really vetting all of these papers in our first issue. And I also must emphasize, too, it was really the impetus for this journal was from Dr. Devendra Amatya from U.S. Forest Service down at the Wetlands Center outside Charleston. And he had this vision of a journal for regional interest, a reach that people that are focused on particular case studies that apply to South Carolina issues, and then beyond our borders, because of course the water borders don't follow the state borders. So I think that because of Dr. Amatya's push to do that, he really generated this interest, and then we picked up the ball and ran with it. And And now going forward, we'll have to see what kind of opportunities we can grow into. And one of our important models for this journal is the Journal of South Carolina Geology that the Department of Natural Resources is managing, the geology office here in Columbia. And so that's sort of our prospective sister publication. And I think then we have the land resource element, the geoscience aspects, and then now the water aspects. And there's really a nice blending of papers that can cross those two journal opportunities. So we hope to, again, bring a lot more people to the table to let us know what they've been thinking about and working on.
Well, I can tell you, I've heard a number of comments about the journal and how nicely it was put together, and the information that it included, including the graphics. I can imagine that you're going to have a lot of work ahead because
Yes.
people want to be included in that journal. Yeah. And I expect that some of our viewers and our listeners will be interested in the journal as well. Where will it be available for people to look at that did not attend the conference?
Yeah, we're working out all the details of going forward. The current first issue that came out, done through Clemson's Tiger Prints service, and that was a really great format, and the formula that they have there to do these publications worked out extremely well. We had hard copies printed of sort of a limited number of hard copies, but to go to the South Carolina Water Resources webpage, you can then find information of how to obtain the papers essentially in PDF format off the web page. So all of the information will, and going forward too, will be available in that electronic format, and then we're also going to have some runs of the hard copies as well.
Wonderful. Now, you brought quite a contingency up from the College of Charleston, faculty as well as students. What are you hearing back from them?
They're really excited about the opportunity for some of our students that are attending or presenting their thesis work, or in some cases their undergraduate results from research projects that they've done with different faculty. We have, including myself, 3 faculty here, and from any and all aspects of water. I'm more of a physical hydrology, groundwater and stream focus. We have Dr. Adam Ali, who focuses on remote sensing methods to understand water quality problems in coastal waters. Dr. Barbara Beckingham is here, and she gave a poster of some of her past work. She's a brand new faculty down at the college. She focuses on water quality issues from an environmental engineering perspective. And the students, not just for the opportunity to present their own work, but to network with professionals in the field and to hear about what other folks are doing at other universities and the agencies and so forth. They've really enjoyed that.
Well, and you're also on the planning committee for this conference. When do you start planning for 2016?
That's a good question. I'm sure in the next probably 3 or 4 months we'll start talking about that. We'll also have to, about the same timing, maybe sooner, talk about the next journal issue. So what we'll do, as we did with issue number 1, the second version of the journal will come out sometime next year, and like we did for this first issue, we harvested the 2012 conference for a selection of papers. We'll do the same for the next issue. So we'll select, and we have asked the participants, the speakers here yesterday and today, to indicate if they would want to be considered for the next journal, and quite a few, several dozen, believe it or not, have indicated that interest. So we have the hard job of paring that down to a reasonable number, probably in the 10 to 12 or so papers will make it into the next journal. And then going forward, our tentative plan is to have in off years theme issues. So particular topic will be the focus of the entire journal, and so papers will come together and we'll try to knit those together around a particular topic area.
Wonderful, wonderful. When we come back in 2016, what is the one thing that you want to be sure has changed from 2014, not in terms of the conference, but in terms of South Carolina water resources?
Well, what we're hearing a lot about this morning and otherwise, collaboration. And I think that folks that are interested in what their elected officials and what decision makers and managers are up to, they want to see, as I do personally, an efficiency of the process. And that in the limited budget times that we're in, that requires these collaborations. How to engender, how to encourage that collaboration, that's the hard part. But to have that being raised as an important from the ground level up aspect, I think then we may see some better forward momentum on that. That the true collaboration across agencies, across universities, for example, and we've already seen some good examples of that, where the universities are finding out ways to get professors to talk to each other, to get their students to cross boundaries, and it serves everyone, including the students especially, sure. Very much so to have those opportunities.
Well, I wish you well. I look forward to seeing you in a couple of years, if not before.
Yeah, I hope so.
But thank you for speaking with us this afternoon.
Yeah, thank you, Donna.
I've been speaking with Dr. Tim Callahan. He is with the College of Charleston. He's also the journal editor for the Water Resources Conference. For the Jim Self Center on the Future, I'm Donna London.